It's strange, isn't it, how a single sentence can stop you in your tracks? How 3 simple words can carry the weight of an entire history. She saved me. That's what Johnny Depp said about Kate Moss after more than 20 years of silence. And it wasn't a throwaway line, or something said for effect. It was real. It came from a place that still means something to him. You see, when someone like Johnny Depp, a man who's spent decades under the relentless gaze of the public, chooses to open up about a part of his past, it's never casual. He's lived long enough to know exactly how his words will be dissected, twisted, and repeated. Which makes this moment all the more meaningful. To really understand it, we have to go back. Way back. Picture the mid-1990s. Hollywood is in one of its golden phases, glossy premieres, big-budget films, and a wave of young stars who are redefining what it means to be famous. Johnny Depp isn't just another actor on the scene. He's a mystery wrapped in a leather jacket, a man who seems allergic to the typical Hollywood playbook. While others are chasing action hero roles and studio contracts, Johnny is picking the offbeat scripts, the weird, the dark, the deeply human. His career is a patchwork of characters that don't quite fit into any one box, and that's exactly how he likes it. Kate Moss, meanwhile, is shaking up the fashion world. She's small by model standards, with sharp features and an effortless kind of beauty that feels almost rebellious against the polished perfection of the era's supermodels. She's not just posing for cameras, she's changing the entire definition of what's considered beautiful. Every designer wants her. Every magazine cover wants her. And she's everywhere, not in an overexposed way, but in a way that makes you feel like she belongs to the moment. When Johnny and Kate meet, it's like the collision of 2 planets. Both are at the peak of their industries. Both are known for their enigmatic presence. And both seem to be living in worlds most people can only dream about, the parties, the private jets, the flashing cameras, the whirlwind of attention that never stops. From the outside, it's intoxicating. 2 icons in love. The press calls them glamorous, magnetic, the couple of the decade. Every public sighting is documented. They can't so much as leave a hotel lobby without ending up on the front page. But the reality? It's never that simple. Fame doesn't just amplify love, it magnifies every crack, every insecurity, every moment of tension. A small disagreement becomes a screaming headline. A tired expression becomes trouble in paradise. And for Johnny and Kate, that constant scrutiny was like living in a house where the walls are made of glass and the world is watching your every move. Friends say their connection was deep. They made each other laugh. They understood the pressures of their respective careers in a way few others could. But the same passion that made their relationship electric also made it volatile. There were highs so high they seemed untouchable, and lows so low they could shake the foundation of everything they'd built together. In 1997, after a few intense years together, they broke up. The press had a field day. Rumors swirled. Everyone had a theory, and none of them came close to the truth. Johnny and Kate? They stayed silent. No public mudslinging. No tell-all interviews. Just silence. And that silence lasted for over 20 years. Which is why, when Johnny finally spoke about her recently, people leaned in. They wanted to know, after all this time, what could he possibly have to say? And then he said it. She saved me. Those words might sound small. But they're not. Not when you understand the context. Not when you know the kind of man Johnny is. Measured, thoughtful, careful about what he puts out into the world. He wasn't talking about the past in a nostalgic, remember the good old days, kind of way. He was talking about something real that happened long after their romance was over. It was during a period when Johnny was facing one of the most brutal storms of his career. You've probably seen it yourself, how fast the tide can turn when the public decides you're guilty before you've even had a chance to speak. Headlines piled up. Opinions were loud and merciless. The court of public opinion moved faster than any actual courtroom could. And in that moment, a moment when silence would have been easy, when staying out of it would have been the obvious, self-protective choice, Kate Moss stepped forward. Not with a press conference or some carefully crafted PR stunt. She simply told the truth about what she knew. Her words cut through the noise. They weren't dramatic. They weren't exaggerated. They were simple, direct, and human. And they carried weight because they came from someone who had nothing to gain. No personal agenda. No career boost. In fact, speaking out could have cost her. But she did it anyway. That kind of loyalty, it's rare. Especially in a world where relationships often end with deleted phone numbers and unfollowed social media accounts. It's even rarer in Hollywood, where friendships and alliances can evaporate the moment they become inconvenient. Johnny knew that. And he felt it. In that moment, her voice was more than just a defense. It was a lifeline. When you're in the middle of a storm, it's easy to start believing the worst things people say about you. To question yourself. To feel like you're standing alone against a tidal wave. But when someone, especially someone from your past, steps up and says, "No, that's not who he is," it can pull you back from the edge. Think about it. We've all had moments where just one person's belief in us made all the difference. It doesn't matter if the world is watching or if it's something private between two people. That feeling of being seen, understood, and defended, it changes you. For Johnny, that moment has stayed with him. He talks about it with gratitude, not bitterness. He doesn't dwell on why things ended between them, or what went wrong. That's in the past. What matters now is that when he needed it most, she was there. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who in your life would do that for you? Who would defend you without hesitation, without worrying about what it might cost them? And maybe even more importantly, who would you do that for? Because loyalty like that, it's not something you can buy. It's not something you can force. It's a choice. And when someone chooses to stand by you, especially when the easy option is to walk away, it's the kind of thing you remember for the rest of your life. Johnny remembers. And now, so do we. It's a story that reminds us of something simple but powerful, that sometimes, the most important people in our lives aren't the ones we see every day. They might be people from our past, people we haven't spoken to in years. But when it matters most, they show up. And in that moment, all the noise fades away, and you're left with something pure, the knowledge that you weren't alone after all. And maybe that's why, after all this time, Johnny Depp still says, without hesitation, "She saved me."